Today we pause to pray for believers in Vietnam, particularly 3 Vietnamese church leaders who were arrested recently because of their faith. Siblings Hmong, Long, and Viet were arrested by local police in the central part of Vietnam near the end of October. According to the authorities, they were arrested for allegedly stealing rice from other families in the village. While this was the reason given by the police, our local partners believe these arrests are faith-related and the charges are just there intended to provide a reason to have the brothers ousted from the community. These 3 men and their families have experienced so much persecution from people in their village and local authorities since becoming Christians. They are not allowed to buy and sell any of their produce. Their children were removed from school and not allowed to return. They've been beaten. They've had their electricity and their water source cut off. All of this simply because they followed Jesus. Earlier this year, these brothers were taken to the police station and pressured to renounce their faith, told that if they did not obey, their lands and animals would be taken away from them, and they would be kicked out of the village. They refused as their love for God gave them the boldness and courage to stand firm in their faith. But just before their October arrest, they had harvested their rice and corn from their farms, and the village chief came and confiscated the harvest and destroyed their homes. It's very difficult to obtain information from prisons in Vietnam, so we haven't had an update on their status since they were arrested. But in this area in Vietnam where they're from, it's been a real hotspot of persecution for Christians in recent years. It seems anyone who believes in God is beaten, their houses demolished, and they are kicked out of the village by local authorities. Can we take a moment today and pause for these dear brothers and other believers in this central region of Vietnam who are experiencing so much hostility in their communities simply because they follow Jesus? We'll pray for Hmong, Long, and Viet that they be released by the authorities and that God would protect them while they're in custody. We'll pray for provision, particularly for their families and for their sources of livelihoods to be returned or replaced. And of course, we want to pray that they will continue to stand strong in their faith and that their faith will increase. Thank you for pausing and praying for our brothers and sisters today.